Roosevelt Butterfield, born 1952. Years at Pennhurst, 1982 to 1984. In the brief years Roosevelt Butterfield lived at Pennhurst, the institution was already in the process of closing. When he wasn't busy with one of his many jobs, Roosevelt made friends quickly and found ways to have fun. If he could, Roosevelt often made secret visits to his sweetheart, Rosa, at the top of the hill in the female colony.
We wasn't allowed on the girls' county. They was up on the hill. We was on the lower county, and so me and the guys, we got together just about every other day. We went down to the campus. We were on the lower campus. Went down to the little store they had there. We sit there all the time. We had coffee and whatever we want. We didn't have that much money. We did odd jobs around there. We did work. They had a laundry there. They had a little kitchen there. They had a hospital and stuff there. But we didn't work. We worked in the laundry, and we worked in the kitchen. I worked in the kitchen there. I dishwashed, and I used to go out on their truck. To help them deliver carts and food to different wards.
Even with his usually happy-go-lucky personality, Roosevelt came upon situations that troubled his heart. While delivering food to the wards one day, Roosevelt remembers one situation he could not ignore.
We got to deliver some food. I said, where? He said, Q building. Q and M building. I said, why? He said, because they needed food. I said, so we did that. So as I was doing Q building, delivering food I was taking, I had already took all the stuff off the back of the truck and tucking it inside the building. I usually don't like going in the building by myself, so I said, I'll take it in. He said, okay. So I took it in. As I was going in, they buzzed for me to let me in. So one of the lady person was there, was taking care of the other guys, the other people in the wheelchairs and that can't get out that much. So she opened, let me in, and one of the first clients up there was in the wheelchair, fell over. I seen her. I stood there and watched her for a while before I started putting the food and stuff on the table. I watched her. She came out of her office. She helped him up. That was fine. I was happy about that. Then, as I turned my back to get some more stuff off the cart, she pushed him in the wheelchair. And I wasn't too happy about it. She pushed him. He went against and hit the wall. He fell over. He had cracked it. He had split his head open. I thought at least she would help him clean up the blood off his face and stuff. She didn't. She put him back in the room where all the other wheelchairs was. Then she went back in her office. She sit there. So we were really not supposed to do this, but we had an old rag I had in my back pocket. I went over, took the old rag, went over and wiped the face off, the blood off the kid's hair, off his face, and we left. So I told the guy who was driving the truck, I told him about it. He said, you ought to report that. So I said, I don't want to get anybody in trouble, but they're not supposed to be doing that. So I went up with the administration office and had reported to who was in charge. I didn't know who was in charge. I said, can I speak to somebody in charge? So I told them about it. They said, can we help you? I said, yeah. I said, I was just on Q building, delivering food, and one of your staff pushed one of the other clients in the wheelchair into the wall and fell over it. And the kid, well, I didn't know if it was a kid or a grown up. So I told him, pushed him into the wall. He fell over and cracked his head. And she didn't do nothing about it. She went back in her office and she sat there. I said, that she's supposed to be taking care of them, not hurting them. And I told him, I said, I didn't like that very much at all. He said, in the first place, you're not supposed to be on that ward. I said, well, I know. I said, I'm delivering food there. I work in the kitchen here. I help deliver food and stuff to all the ward that needs it. He said, okay, but don't go over there. Just don't go there again. I said, you gonna sit there and tell me where I can't go? He said, yeah, I'm telling you where you can't go. I said, well, I'm not going to pay you any attention. I'm leaving. So I left. So, and a couple of days later, I ran into him again, coming down the corridor. He said, "Aren't you the one?" Well, it wasn't him. It was one of the staff guys that worked on that ward. He said, "Aren't you the one that helped one of the guys up that got hurt on Q building in Q?" I said, "Yeah." He said, "You did good." He said, "But did you report that lady?" I said, "Oh yeah, I reported to the person that was at the main office there." He said, "What did they?" He said, "What did they say about it?" I said, "The guy said I shouldn't have been on that ward in the first place." So he said, "Don't worry about it." He said, "Don't worry. We'll talk to him. I'll talk to him." So I found out originally who this guy that I had ran into. He was the head. He was the boss of all the staff. The staff and stuff was in charge of all those wards. So I guess he went over. I guess he happened and went over and talked to her. I ran into him a couple of days later. He said, "She's not working with us no more."
On another day, on his way through the wooded area to try to see Rosa, Roosevelt was surprised again. He and a friend unexpectedly came upon a cemetery on the grounds.
I had a couple of my friends me and a couple of my friends, we want to go up on the girls' county, but we took so we took the roadway up all around. We took it's a hill from the county, from the grounds, the lower part of the grounds that goes up the hill there. So we took that way. As we was going up through the woods there, it's a trail that goes up through the woods. So we going up through the woods. He said, "Look," I said, "What?" "Look over there." I said, "That looks like a graveyard." He said, "It is a graveyard." I said, "Nah. I went over a little closer. I looked. I said, "It's a graveyard there, huh?" I said, "What do they do?" I said, "Do they bury people when they die?" He said, "Yes." I said, No. I can't. That's in Maine." I said, "They can't do that." He said, "Yes, they do." I said, "You said if a person dies, they bury him. They take him up there and bury him." I said, "No, they can't do that." I said, "That's against the law." I said, "They have to contact somebody. If somebody dies here, they have to contact that person's parents or somebody, whoever's in charge, whoever that person belongs to." Mm-hmm. So he said, "No, they don't. They never do." He said, I said, "Okay." I said, so we went on. So we stopped there for a while. We stopped. We sit there. We just sit there for a while. We say a prayer for whoever was buried in there.
Not all the troubling situations Roosevelt witnessed had a good ending, especially one he shares about a friend named Henry.
Another guy that used to, I just know his name was Henry. He had one of these 3-wheel bikes. And he would ride all the time. Every time I see him, he would always ride that bicycle. He always on his way to work or somewhere, or he's on his way back to the ward. One day, he was going down this hill from up off the girls' county. I guess he works up that way, where the marshal home, where they keep, with some of the clients where they stay at. Mm-hmm. So I guess he was coming down the hill, and his brake gave out on him. He ran into a side of a tree, into the tree, and it killed him instantly. Because he thought he had no brakes on his bike, and he didn't know how to stop it. Oh my. Yeah. So they had, I think, I'm never sure. I don't know I don't know if they buried him. I don't know what they did. Mm-hmm. So they never heard. Nobody else never heard nothing else about it.
Looking back over his days at Pennhurst, Roosevelt wants the world to know that it was both good and bad. But it's important to talk with those who lived there to hear each of their stories.
I would like for most people to remember, Pennhurst is not bad. It's not as bad as some people say they are. You just got to know how to deal with that. Mm-hmm. If you don't know how to deal, I think if you don't know how to deal with it, if you know anybody that used to be in Pennhurst, talk to them. Mm-hmm. Sit down, have a good conversation with them. Mm-hmm. Ask them about Pennhurst. They can probably tell you the best they can about things about Pennhurst, about the good things or the bad things. Mm-hmm. But just don't. If you meet a person from Pennhurst, If he's a little, if he's, sometimes if he acts normal, he's fine. If he doesn't want to be bothered with you, don't keep pestering.
Roosevelt continues to speak about his experiences, recently serving as the introductory spokesperson in a public television documentary entitled I Go Home. This video is one of many that can be viewed in its entirety on the Pennhurst Memorial and Preservation Alliance website.